I'm copying a key in brass using this old hinge and various diameters of brass rod, mainly 5 and 6mm. This chrome coloured key is the one I'm copying, so I'm going to take an impression of the working part of it. Now it's made a perfect impression on the brass hinge.
Have to make a groove along the back, right in the middle, for the silver solder to run into. So you can see that the silver has sweated along and bonded it really beautifully. Needs a bit of cleaning up, got a bit of slag coming off it. Trick is to use the tiniest amount of silver. So now I've got to file this thickness down. I've got to get it to the very similar dimensions, if not exact. I've got to make it exactly the same. So what have we got there? 1.8. And what have we got here? Oh, yeah, I got about 0.5 millimeter to remove. Okay, so that's polished up quite nicely. Now, if you look at this key, it's got like a double diameter. This device here is to stop the key going through the lock too far, and then it snags on the opposite side where there's a keyhole for the inside. So I have to make one to go on this key, and I'm going to make it out of this brass here, and I have to find the middle of the brass. And the way to do that, if you don't have a lathe, which we don't, is you have to put the brass in the drill chuck, and you have to have the drill stationary. That way it will find its center by itself, and that will be central enough for our purposes. So you can see what I've done. I've got the drill bit in the vise, and then I've had the workpiece in the chuck rotating, and you can see I've made a pilot hole, and it's pretty central. So there it is. I've got my 4 millimeter hole, and that key bit fits in. So now I just have to cut off to about there, and the way I'm going to do that is in the drill. I'll put it in the drill. While it's spinning, I'll use the hacksaw on it, and that will make it quite concentric. So there it is on the shaft. It's a bit fat, so now that has to be lead soldered on because it's too near to the key. The silver soldered a bit, and if I heat it up to silver solder it, the top might fall off. So I have to use a lower melting point solder, i.e. lead tin. So now I've put it back in the drill, and I'm going to file that so it's a smaller diameter as the drill spins. So there it is. It's got its little ferrule on, and it's soldered on, and it's had a polish. Heating it up helps to bend it. So there's the hand part. It's been soldered. I'm going to leave the silver on it and just polish it because I want it to have an antique sort of look. Okay, I've used a piece of porcelain propped up, and I've filed a groove in the barrel, and I'm going to silver solder it now. So there it is finished. It just needs to be polished, and you can see that the solders work beautifully, the silver on here. I've made another little brass ferrule just to balance against that one, and that it's free moving at the moment, but I'm going to lead solder it.
Here is the finished key, polished and ready to go.
So, there's the key. Let's see if it works. Yay! There it is. Try it in the back. Yep. Looks really nice. Ye olde worldy.